Good morning, everyone. Great to see you here. By the authority given in the Statutes of the Open University, I declare this congregation open for the conferment of degrees and the presentation of graduates. Distinguished guests, graduates and friends of the university, it is my privilege and pleasure to welcome you all to the fourth of the Open University's degree ceremonies being held in 2018. We are delighted to welcome the Deputy Lieutenant of Dorset, Mrs. Felicity Irwin, the High Sheriff of Dorset, Mrs. Jacqueline Swift, and the Worshipful Mayor of Poole, Councillor Lindsay Wilson, all of whom have found time in their very busy diaries to be with us today. It is also my great pleasure to welcome our Honorary Graduand, Mrs. Sally Bromley. We are delighted to be able to honour her today. During the past year, the Open University has awarded over 20,000 qualifications, ranging from Certificate of Higher Education through to Doctor of Philosophy. Throughout 2018, more than 8,000 graduates are being presented for their qualifications at degree ceremonies such as the one here in Poole today. These are held at 11 different towns and cities throughout England and also in Belfast, Cardiff, Glasgow and Dublin. This in itself illustrates the extraordinary scale, scope and reach of our Open University. It goes without saying that today is a very important occasion in the life of you, our graduates, your families and your loved ones, as well as the university staff who I hope you will feel have nurtured and supported you to get here today. You could be forgiven for thinking that that means the occasion is so important it needs to be a solemn one, and you'd be wrong. Because in every sense, this is a day of celebration. So we'll all be disappointed if anyone crosses the stage to anything less than thunderous applause, or indeed whatever other way you choose to express your enthusiasm and support. Open University graduation ceremonies are well known for their whooping and cheering, so that's a bit of a hint. So, with that in mind, why don't all of today's graduates briefly stand, please? And let's start. Okay, so that was a very good start. But remember, when your particular family member or friend comes across the stage, I think you can probably do even better with a bit of cheering and whooping. There's one more way you can use to show your appreciation to your graduate. If you post messages or photos on social media, use the hashtag OU_ceremonies, sharing your congratulations and celebrations with the world outside, as well as everyone here today. Today's ceremony will begin with the presentation of those graduates who have gained higher degrees and first degrees of Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Engineering and Bachelor of Laws, and who are able to attend here today. They will be presented by Pat Atkins, Director of the Student Support Team Hub in Academic Services. We will then see the awarding of the honorary degree of Master of the University to Mrs. Sally Bromley. Good, well done. You were practicing. Dr. Joan Simons, Associate Dean for Teaching Excellence in the Faculty of Wellbeing, Education and Language Studies, will present Sally Bromley, who in turn will sign the Honorary Graduate's book, and she will make a reply. Then we will continue our presentation of graduates with those who have gained Bachelor of Science degrees, foundation degrees, and diplomas of higher education, and who are able to attend here today. To conclude the ceremony, I will give a personal address to the graduates. So, to kick things off, I will now call upon Pat Atkins to present the graduates.
Executive Dean, I shall now present graduates who have gained higher degrees and have been able to attend here today. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, I present to you for a thesis entitled Mechanisms of Head Injury in Road Traffic Accidents, a Potential Solution for Data Collection, Jolyon Carroll. And for a thesis entitled A Study into Best Practices and Procedures Used in the Management of Database Systems, Victoria Holt. For the degree of Doctorate in Education, I present to you for thesis entitled Nurses' Personal and Professional Experiences of Dyslexia in Lifelong Learning, a Narrative Approach, Rachel Major. I present to you for the degree of Master of Arts in Art History, Victoria Cowan. For the degree of Master of Arts in Classical Studies with Distinction, I present Diana Froyland. For the degree of Master of Arts in Education, I present Tracy Leadbeater. Anthony Lovett. Natasha Stone. Christine Talbot. Amy Wells. For the degree of Master of Arts in English, I present Noriko Wilkinson. For the degree of Master of Arts in History, I present Terence Fern. Patricia Heckbert. Anita Jays. For the degree of Master of Arts in Philosophy, I present Tony Clark. And Phil Watkins. For the degree of Master of Business Administration, I present Brian Caldwell. Elsa Hogan. Martin McGoldrick. Mark Pepperell. For the degree of Masters of Business Administration, Technology Management, I present Lionel Olivier. For the degree of Master of Education, I present Dominique Beach. Talia Galloway. Amanda Makin. Joanne Marshall. For the degree of Master of Science in Advanced Networking, I present Nick Channing. For the degree of Master of Science in Computing, Commerce and Industry, I present Stephen Goodwin. For the degree of Master of Science in Mathematics, I present Paul Barnett. For the degree of Master of Science in Medicinal Chemistry, I present Emma Coleman. For the degree of Master of Science in Science, I present Anna Arnold-Sporkett. Jonathan Downing. Helen Griffiths. For the degree of Master of Science in Science and Bachelor of Arts with Honours, I present Jane John. Executive Dean, I shall now present graduates who have gained Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Engineering and Bachelor of Law degrees and have been able to attend here today. The full subject details are printed in the insert within the ceremony programme. I present to you for the degree of Bachelor of Arts with First Class Honours, Katrina Foster. And Nicholas Jones. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts with Honours, I present Elizabeth Britton. Carolyn Cardwell. Benjamin Church. Catherine Coates. Alice Young. Vicky Cole. Lexi Cooper. Elizabeth Day. Khadija Essanusi. Lucy Fisher. Tara Folland. Hayley Gilmore. Rachel Harrison. Laurie Howes. Dawn James. Linda Jones. David York. Paul Kington. Jennifer Pereira. Erin Potgieter. Stephen Robertson. Datset Soma. Rachel Spring. Fiona Sullivan. Chilowit Tangnim. Claire Welch. Michelle Worthing. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts, I present Christine Hale. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Social Work with First Class Honours, I present Chris Allen. And Natalie Morgan. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Social Work with Honours, I present Zoe Collins. Louise Kopp. Vic Glassy. Paul Gray. Teresa Johnson. Stephanie Kent. David Palmer. Marcia Penfold. Claire Picton. Nicola Putt. Catherine Roberts. Andrew Smith. Kelly Stockwell. Keith Wareham. And Vicky Wellington. For the degree of Bachelor of Engineering with First Class Honours, I present Todd Gillingham. Marius Manders. And Simon Scott Douglas. For the degree of Bachelor of Engineering with Honours, I present Kinga Boretsky. Jamie Broom. Stuart Dance. Paul Donnellan. Alexander Hall. Francis Higgins. Brian Kelly. Andy Martin. Benjamin Pride. Nick Snowden. And Luke Verdun. For the degree of Bachelor of Laws with first-class honours, I present Flavia Lamia. Sorry, Flavia. Vanessa Hamilton Adams. Rebecca Hughes. I'll do my best. Wara Otuste Quiroga. Jacqueline Williamson.
Executive Dean, colleagues, graduates and guests. Sally Bromley is an educator, activist and campaigner whose determination to address the causes and consequences of Parkinson's disease has been life-changing for people across her local community and beyond. A lifelong teacher, Sally was known and loved by parents and children in Oxford, where she taught at Frydeside Middle School. In her late 50s, she was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. Around 1 in every 500 people develop the condition. It is caused by a loss of nerve cells and declining production of dopamine, the chemical which helps regulate movement. This produces the symptoms of Parkinson's disease: a general slowing down, muscle stiffness, and involuntary tremors. It is not yet clear what causes Parkinson's disease, and there is currently no cure. With the right support, however, it can be managed appropriately, enable people to continue in a full and active life. Despite her own symptoms, over the past decade, Sally's determination to support others with the condition has been truly inspirational. She is a leading fundraiser, embarking on everything, and I mean everything, from a sponsored skydive to garden parties, as well as organising a conference and the Oxford Walk. Perhaps her most notable fundraising achievement is the annual Carol concert, the last held at Christ Church Cathedral, Oxford, with support from well-known figures such as Ian Hislop, Rory Bremner, and the writer Paul Mayhew Archer, included the world premiere of a carol specially written by Bob Chilcott. The service, both celebratory and moving, attracted hundreds of people and raised thousands of pounds. As chair of the Oxford Parkinson's UK branch, Sally is at the centre of local community support. She understands the importance of ensuring people have the opportunities they need to thrive, including the chance to enjoy themselves and have fun. Under Sally's leadership, the branch offers exercise classes, physiotherapy and mindfulness, and she's helped establish a programme with the English National Ballet in Oxford. Dance for Parkinson's helps members improve their balance, coordination and stability, and participants have seen huge improvements in their quality of life. Sally is a long-term contributor to one of the pioneering clinical research trials taking place at the Oxford Parkinson's Disease Centre. With her gift for communication, characteristic wit, and passion for education, Sally has become something of a bridge between the research community and those with the disease. By supporting open days and translating new findings into accessible language to ensure information reaches those who need it most, she has forged relationships and partnerships that help both groups understand each other. She is a regular speaker at conferences for students, researchers and clinicians, giving them meaningful practical insight into the people behind the condition. She has made many local national media appearances, stressing the impact that new breakthroughs have on people's daily lives and long-term prospects. Sally knows that the diagnosis of Parkinson's is devastating and has addressed the isolation most people feel by co-writing a programme called First Steps, which has now benefited over 250 people with Parkinson's disease and their carers. We are delighted to honour Sally's commitment to fundraising, community support and clinical research, areas of which she is making a huge contribution to the quality of life of people with Parkinson's disease. Executive Dean, by the authority of the Senate, I present to you for the honorary degree of Master of the University, Sally Bromley.
Executive Dean, graduates and guests, I accept with deep gratitude this honour of Master of the Open University bestowed upon me. I thank those who nominated me and those who selected me. For 10 years, I've lived with Parkinson's and it impacts on everyday life big time. I've lost my sense of smell. I have reduced dexterity. My voice is affected, and I'm really slow at getting things down. Even so, there are amusing moments. I sometimes need help to cut up my food, and it leaves me with my plate resembling a dog's dinner. Turning over in bed is really hard, and when I'm settled, a voice from the other pillow asks, "Are you beached yet?" With increased loss of balance, it's flat shoes from now on. And in a pub, I ask for half a pint in a pint mug because I shake the top half out. Parkinson's is a complex, chronic, degenerating condition, and hearing the diagnosis is heartbreaking. Gone is the life you knew, and you learn to accept a future of uncertainty and degradation. I didn't believe that this was my future. And 3 of us Parkies produced First Steps. This is a 2-day program for newly diagnosed people and their carers to offer support at this fragile time, led by facilitators who themselves have Parkinson's. This is an example of the kind of patient-led initiative I've tried to promote. After listening to people with Parkinson's, our branch provided an exercise class for those with more advanced Parkinson's, delivered through a collaboration between Age UK Oxfordshire and the NHS Physiotherapy Service. It was such a success that participants requested a DVD. Thank you. So they could continue to exercise at home. This too has been achieved with some collaboration. Raising funds to enable this has seen us doing sponsored events, promoting concerts, and my husband baking 120 scones in an afternoon. Sometimes you've just got to be imaginative. I'm committed to encouraging patient-led initiatives, working collaboratively with other organisations and forming partnerships with other patient groups. We should also remind professionals that behind every number in their statistics there is a real person living with a deteriorating chronic condition. I've been thrilled to see the faces of success as you collect your certificates. For many of you, I'm sure the journey has been demanding at times. I have a little idea of this, as I too have dabbled into the world of Open University. Yes, EM235, Developing Mathematical Thinking. That was a course I did, and I well remember my husband taking the children out for the day, leaving me behind to do my studies. Does it resonate? And later, I did an action research module, and all I remember of a camping holiday in France is of me writing up my findings while sitting on an airbed. I leave this thought for you all. The great philosopher Christopher Robin once said in the novel Winnie the Pooh, "You're braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think." How right he was. But by adding having a good sense of humour, it makes living with this rotten condition a whole lot better. Thank you.
Executive Dean, continuing the presentation of graduates, I shall now present those who have gained Bachelor of Science degrees, foundation degrees and diplomas of higher education and have been able to attend here today. The full subject details are printed in the insert within the ceremony programme. For the degree of Bachelor of Science with First Class Honours, I present George Bell. Victoria Bentiba. Caroline Charlton. Richard Coleman. Susan Corbett. Jeanette Eldridge. Robin Joy. Jeremy Martin. Ian Smith. Robert Underhill. Stuart Waldron. And David Wheeler. For the degree of Bachelor of Science with Honours, I present Jessica Antley. Sean Artingstall. Greg Baggett. David Bain. Maxine Battle. Huri Batui. Connor Berridge. Alison Bird. Charlotte Bowles. Duncan Brown. Rebecca Brutikesi. Chris Bundle. Gemma Burns. Lynn Chapman. Katrina Clayton. Adam Cork. Christopher Craig. Tamia Diaz. Rachel Earle. Rachel Edwards. Ian Findlay. Alan Fisher. Samantha Ford. Mark G. Adrian Gifford. Susan Graham. Adam Gregory. Naomi Harris. Nicola Heffernan. Simon Hester. Tracy Hickson. Ross Holloway. Fred Hutt. Ricky Keats. Chuba Kiss. Margaret Keto. Mantas Kmita. Gavin Lindsay. Gavin Lucas. Jennifer McAllister. Erica McKee. Emma Meredith. Leonie Moreldo. Gerald Naden. Tine Ndlovu. Rebecca Newell. Carol North. Maria Oosterwijk. Anna Pingray. Mark Podmore. Sarah Potter. Ellen Pounds. Teresa Powell. Marion Pusey. Laura Renton. James Ross Mackenzie. Caroline Rutter. Scott Samways. Stephanie Scoble. Mark Selwood. Emma Louise Simpson. Alistair Stewart. Suman Thapa. Laura Tomei. Kevin Turner. Joanna Ward. Martin Wilde. Mark Williams. And Katie Yates. For the degree of Bachelor of Science with Honours and Bachelor of Arts, I present Cosimo Leo. For the degree of Bachelor of Science, I present Kieran Arley. Kerry Collins. Anne Dudley. Russell Fordham. Lindsay Hathaway. Suzanne Lyons. Andrew Manning. And Carolyn Pitt. For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Adult Nursing with First Class Honours, I present Carly Emery. Jason Fraser. And Nicola Henderson. For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Adult Nursing with Honours, I present Catherine Broadbeer. Daisy Cragg. Lorraine Harris. Rebecca Lane. Rebecca Latham. Jessica Layton. Helen Marsh. Annalisa Monks. Kaylee Player. Emily Richardson. Agnieszka Ryan. Kathy Thompson. Kathy Thompson. Rebecca White. Laura Whittingham. Dorota Robel. For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Nursing Practice with Honours, I present Anne Luneberg. For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Mental Health Nursing with Honours, I present Sandra Hodgkinson. For a foundation degree, I present Amita Allen. Charlotte Ballinger. Ellen Bolt. Marie Little. Stu Moore. Sue Pink. Dalisai Tripconi. Sarah Wiley. For the Diploma of Higher Education, I present Carly Bliss Hilton. Chloe Braddock. Andrew Harvey. Gaynor Holford. And Dolores Probert.
Well, that was an amazing morning. So, good morning, everyone, guests, members of Senate, staff, and of course, our wonderful graduates out in the audience. This has been a really special day for everyone here, one to remember for the rest of your lives. And these occasions, when I just talk very briefly to a few people as they come across the stage, never fail to impress with the truly amazing diversity and wonderful nature of Open University students. You know, there were people there who were already teachers, social workers, making huge contributions to society, people wanting to research Alzheimer's disease. There was a mother and a daughter who are graduating on the same day, which I thought was very impressive, and a guy who said he'd studied non-stop for 35 years. So you've all got something else to aim for now, I'm afraid. So, as always at Open University graduation ceremonies, some wonderful and inspiring stories from everyone, and the joy is always fantastic to see. Each of you is extraordinary. Together, you are even more extraordinary. You are the most amazing body of graduates anywhere in the UK. In fact, today, all of you and your friends and supporters are probably sharing this auditorium with the most extraordinary people you're ever likely to meet. For family, friends and supporters, you know their incredible efforts that your graduate went to in achieving their qualification. Many of you, and many of our graduates today, won't know much about the other graduates and just how amazing you are as a body. And I'd like to take a moment just to explain why. So I'm going to ask you, the graduates, a few questions so we can all discover a little bit more about you. So if you wouldn't mind playing along with me in Quizmaster mode, could you raise your hand to my questions? Amongst our graduates today, who was employed or did voluntary work at some stage during the course of their study? A huge number. Who helped to bring up a family at some point during the course of their study? Again, a huge proportion. Who cared for parents or other dependents during their study? A not insignificant number. And please don't put up your hand if you'd rather not, or if it's tricky, but who carried out their studies while registered with a disability? Again, I can see some hands. Overall, the university has over 24,000 disabled students, which is not only more than any other university, it's actually probably more students than some universities have in total. As you saw, almost every student here has needed to fulfill some other obligation alongside their study. Compare that with students at conventional universities whose extra duties probably extend only to the sports team or their commitment to propping up the bar. Your efforts are so much greater. You're members of a university that believes where you start in life shouldn't limit where you go. And let me share a small frustration I have over the words that are sometimes used to describe students like you. Conventional students are often described as full-time students and OU students as part-time. But OU students are more like double-time. You've been on a really tough shift because you've managed to study and succeed whilst doing all those other things and juggling all those other commitments. So well done. But there's only one thing that's tougher than being an OU student, and that's probably living with one. Of course, and as you might have noticed from the occasional whoop and cheer, there were a few family members in the audience today. So let's just take a moment, and this is probably the moment to do it, a moment to acknowledge the support of your family and friends who are celebrating with you today. They've been by your side every step of the way. Let's thank them for supporting you, for standing by you. So please, graduates, if you could, locate your family and friends in the crowd, and let's give them a massive round of applause. And we can also thank the other vital group that helped you get here today, and that is the Open University's wonderful academics, represented by my colleagues here on the platform. They wrote and presented your modules and qualifications, and crucially also the tutors, or as we call them, associate lecturers, who taught you directly and got you through. I hope you will agree that they too are deserving of huge appreciation. So you're all absolutely special, but you're also special because of the quality of the university you have just graduated from. Let that just sink in again. You have just graduated from. And the standards that the Open University sets. Standards that we know employers recognise and value. Over 30,000 businesses and organisations in the UK have chosen the Open University to train their staff. Government surveys show that employers perceive part-time students to be hard-working, committed and requiring discipline, and recognise the importance of supporting their employees' study aspirations. So an OU qualification is something to be proud of, something well recognised and well respected. I hope that if you're hoping for a new job or a promotion following your qualification, you can remind your employer of that. And in fact, a number of people as they came across the stage actually said to me that it already helped them get a promotion, a new job, or a change of career completely in some cases. If you're looking for some other things to tell people about the university of which you're now a graduate, here are a few more facts that I hope they too would find impressive. In 2013, the OU led the way in digital innovation when we set up the UK's first platform for what are called massive open online courses, or MOOCs for short, free learning for the world, through an initiative called FutureLearn. Since it was set up, it's gained over 6 million learners around the world. Many of you will know of our partnership with the BBC. Whenever you see the OU Shield at the end of a TV programme, you can be certain that there will be something special to learn. For instance, we've had recent documentaries, Blue Planet 2, a co-production between the OU and the BBC's Natural History Unit, which brought viewers face-to-face with unexpected new landscapes and introduced them to compelling stories from our oceans. Or you might have seen Civilizations, the series currently running, which explores the visual culture of societies from around the globe. And we are doing wonderful work with those who need our help the most. Related to something that's in the news today, sadly, the Open University is working with the British Council to deliver academic programmes to displaced refugees from Syria who have had to leave their homes and who have temporarily settled in Jordan and the Lebanon. I'd like to talk briefly about the research of the Open University. When we took part in the last UK exercise to assess university research, it showed that about 3/4 of the Open University's research was marked as 4 or 3 star, which means either world leading or internationally excellent. And this research captures the public imagination. We are, to give one example, incredibly proud of our contribution to recent space exploration. Last summer, we were part of the international team who analysed a wobble in space to discover a new exoplanet orbiting our nearest star. It looks like the planet may even have the right conditions to support life, which could make it one of the most important scientific discoveries, potentially of all time. So as you can see, you are a member of a university that is a world leader in technology, in innovation, and in helping people to learn. And you will now always be a member of this university, our movement of millions, a mission of one. You might have seen that the Open University has been in the news quite a bit over the last couple of weeks, with what I might refer to as some little local difficulties. But the newspaper coverage showed one thing very clearly, that there is huge support and goodwill for the Open University as being one of Britain's great national treasures, and that support came from right across the political spectrum. You know that when you're getting support from, amongst others, Justin Greening, David Blunkett, Theresa May, and Jeremy Corbyn, we must be doing something right. So today you join a community of Open University alumni around the world. The OU has been by your side throughout your studies. Today we give you a new commitment to stay with you on your lifelong journey. We'll share with you new opportunities to study. We promise to help you develop your career, and as we learn more in your chosen field of study, we promise to share with you our latest research. Our motto, which you can see up on the crest behind me, is learn and live. That is something that all Open University graduates embody as soon as they step back out into their busy lives, because we are the people who open up the future of learning. So please continue to learn, continue to live. You have already proven that you have the skills and the ability to do it. Be confident that you can change the world around you for the better. You are now, as graduates, part of a vast network of people as extraordinary as you are. Make your voice heard. Join our alumni careers group on LinkedIn to share your experience and make new connections. Or perhaps try a free piece of online learning on OpenLearn or FutureLearn. Or maybe, when you've had a pause to recover, think about continuing your studies with the Open University. It's actually quite surprising the number of people who I said, when I asked them what comes next, they said, having a rest. You may have already been congratulated by members of our alumni team out in the foyer. If you didn't get the chance to meet them, you'll certainly hear from them soon, and they'll be in touch to tell you all about what our Alumni Association can offer, as well as ways you can give back to your university through our Open Up the Future campaign, helping us to open up opportunity and lives for many more people. And it's worth mentioning in passing that next year, 2019, marks the 50th anniversary of the foundation of the Open University, which is a fantastic moment and an achievement for such a radical and important organisation. When you leave today, you become an ambassador for the Open University and all that it stands for. Its values of social justice, equality and education, and for knowledge to be open to all. Share your experience with others you know. Tell people what your OU journey has meant to you and what it could mean for them. I hope you might have seen our inspiring television and cinema adverts that bring so vividly to life the trials and jubilation of being an OU student. But we know that for potential students, a word of recommendation from an OU student or graduate is better than any commercial. You are now our best advert, and we want you to be proud to say, I studied there. In a moment, the proceedings will end, and the ceremonial party will process out. Please do join me, our honorary graduates, and all of the processing party outside the auditorium so we can congratulate you in person. So now, can I ask for one last time for all of our graduates to stand and for everyone else here to join me in giving them a huge round of applause. Congratulations and well done, and make sure you do please enjoy the rest of the day. The proceedings of this degree ceremony have now been completed, and I now declare this meeting of congregation closed. Would all of those who are able to stand please do so.